Good Friday morning. Welcome to No Shave November. I'm Zev Fima, research analyst for Action Alerts Plus here on the floor of the NYSE with Jim Cramer. Jim, let's get right to it. What's top of your mind?
This is a complete repudiation of yesterday. We've got numbers that are weak enough to make it so that it made sense that the Fed cut, and they happen to be numbers related to the broader industrial economy. And then we got numbers that say the economy's really good, and that's the consumer economy. And this is the dichotomy that we've talked about endlessly that people are just beginning to recognize.
Right. So speaking of the consumer economy, obviously we got 128,000 jobs added. What are your thoughts as we enter the final 2 months of the year?
Well, I think that we're going to see two trends. One is retail's going to be very strong. No one believed that's going to happen. But we're going to start getting Boeing. If Boeing has to shut the production line, that's the biggest. Used to be GM, but that's the biggest industrial project in the country, other than oil and gas construction in the Texas area. Again, that's another area that's not talked about much, but we got to see that move. Boeing's got them, that's going to bring the industrial down even more, but the consumer's going to be incredibly strong, and you're seeing that from the action in the banks today.
Right, definitely divergence, consumer and industrial. Jim, I want to talk tech for a second, though, because Arista Networks plummeted on poor guidance.
We all talked about this morning, and I think the problem is with Arista Network. Jayshree Ullal is a genius, okay? I stipulate that. She went from Cisco, built Arista out of nothing, but they had some hiccup at Facebook. No one expected it because just yesterday Facebook said that cloud's pretty booming. She's really contesting that they said that. But the analysts were mystified, and when analysts are mystified like they were with Grubhub earlier this week, that means sell. And I know the read-through for Action Alerts might be we should sell Cisco. I'm willing to bet that there are problems with Cisco that are going to be that were flagged last quarter. So unlike Arista, which flagged nothing, okay? So if you flag it, and then maybe Chuck Robbins gives us a NABF, which is not as bad as feared, we'll be fine. But if you looked at Arista the previous quarter, you would never have seen this coming.
Oh, that the expectations coming into the quarter.
Yes,
really,
exactly. Now, we have things like, for Action Alert, where we're going to have the discussion, do we sell Caterpillar at 140? We're going to have that discussion.
Right. Because
Caterpillar was at 140, and we wanted to do it last time, and then immediately went to 137. So that's today's business, and we'll talk about that on our Action Alert call.
No, absolutely. And just because we are talking Arista Networks, it is worth mentioning Facebook, Microsoft. They told you on the call these companies are 10% of revenue in 2019. So speaking about the risk of customers.
Yeah, I mean, look, we don't really understand what happened with Facebook and them. We know Facebook's booming, and Facebook is just beginning to scratch the surface in the consumer packaged goods group. They really don't have it yet. It's really been Amazon and Alphabet spending. Alphabet, by the way, maybe with Fitbit trying to make sense of their healthcare business.
Right.
We got to talk about that during our video for Action Alerts.
Absolutely. So before we jump over to the Action Alerts Plus, I just want to ask you real quick. I'm going to give you three names. Just give me a quick take in 60 seconds on the earnings. First one is Alibaba.
You know, look, Alibaba, the Chinese consumers like the American consumer. Chinese consumer's strong. We found that yesterday with Estee Lauder, too. Again, not talked about correctly by the media.
Exxon?
Look, it's oil and gas. That means sell.
So Chevron was the other one. But
oil and gas means sell. Chevron also made me feel like maybe I now know why they tried to buy Anadarko. They don't have enough growth. That is something I never thought would happen because they were very forward-thinking and were building during the Macondo period.
All right, Jim, that's all the time we have for today. We're going to jump over to ActionAlertsPlus.com for Jim's Daily Rundown. We're going to dive into AbbVie earnings and more. Be sure to check it out. Again, ActionAlertsPlus.com. See you next week.